For my big first video after the summer break, I thought I'd do something a little bougie. Peony champagne jelly. It turns out peony aren't just pretty, they are edible too. Collect a few peony. White ones are edible too, but personally I like the jelly to have a little color. So I'm using pink and dark pink ones. You'll also need a bottle of champagne. This one's a rosé, but any will work. I got this one because there was a sale on, so it was the cheapest. For the jellying, you'll need 300 grams of 3:1 gelling sugar and 2 lemons. First, remove the petals from the flowers and collect them in a pot. Next, cut 2 lemons into slices. If you prefer, you could also use half a teaspoon of citric acid, but using lemons looks very pretty. Add half a liter of water. And the champagne. This one was about to pop off, but I caught it just in time. We're about to simmer this concoction, and most of the alcohol will evaporate. But if you cannot or do not want to ingest alcohol, I'd skip this recipe anyways. Put on the lid and move it to the stove. Turn on low to medium heat and slowly bring it to a low roll, then simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. As things develop, the petals should get paler and the liquid should take on more color. Once time is up, get a bowl and a strainer. Oh, that's a lovely color. Rinse out the pot and put the liquid back in the pot. Add the sugar. I'm starting with half because it looked a bit much, so I assumed I made a mistake with my measurements, but in the end I added the rest of the sugar because it wouldn't set, so I guess it just looked more in the bowl I was using. In conclusion, the measurements I gave at the beginning worked for me, and I just added an extra step for no reason. Put it back on the heat, maybe do a taste test, and bring it back up to simmer to let the pectin do its thing. While the jelly is heating up, boil some water to disinfect the jam jars. Once things have been simmering for a few minutes, do a gelling test. Stick a plate in the freezer for a few minutes and then drip a teaspoon of jelly on. Once the jelly is cool, check that it has set properly by turning the plate sideways. If it doesn't run, you're good and ready to put the jelly in jars. The jars have been sitting full of hot water for 5 minutes. And yes, it might be time to scale the kettle. Jeez. So, to put the jelly in jars and make it storable, you'll need disinfected jars and lids. A funnel will come in handy, and to protect your fingers, a grabber or a kitchen towel soaked in cold water. Close the lid as tightly as you can and set the jar upside down for a few minutes. This will create a vacuum inside the jar and the jelly will be protected from mold and other nasties. And here we are! Just let your jelly cool down and set and you're good to go. Label your jars so you remember what's in them and when you made it. And I really hope you get to try this recipe. It's fruity and bougie and just something a little bit different. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, why not subscribe?